It's a fantastically gorgeous day in Denver. I had to drop Robo off at work this morning because he's going on an overnight to Winter Park. And so on the way home, I decided to stop at City Park and take a walk with the dog. Mentioned this in a couple videos before about needing to build more spontaneity into my day. And so when Robo needed to get dropped off at work this morning, I was like, hey, here's a great way I can go be spontaneous. I gotta walk the dog anyway, and my normal routine would have been to head home, get out of the car, and then take the dog for a walk around the neighborhood. And it was like, I have to pass City Park on my way home, so why not do something different? And I'm really glad that I came out because, one, it's nice and cool this morning. We've been having a lot of rain over the past couple of days, and so Denver is nice and cool. But also, it's quiet. It's extremely quiet here, and I kind of feel like I have the park, almost to myself, especially on this little walk around the lake. And so, yeah, this is a really fantastic way to enjoy this morning. On Sundays in June, we have Jazz in City Park, and that's the pavilion that they put all the bands in. And all this green space is completely filled with people out here to listen. Rentable paddle boats and bicycle surreys for your pleasure. We got goslings in various stages of growth. Got some little bitty baby ones right over here, maybe a couple weeks old. And then these larger ones over here are losing their pin feathers, becoming more like their parents. One of the things about being an entrepreneur and building your own business, freelancing, whatever you want to call it, especially when you're working just for yourself, part of the goal is to be able to build a life to do what you want to do, right? Like everybody's dream of working for themselves is the fact that they don't have a boss and they can take time off and they can go do whatever they want during the day. And while that's true, it's also not true. And it was the same thing when I was homeschooled. I was homeschooled for all 12 years of my life in school, and so it was the same thing. We had the same flexibility and the same freedom to take time off, but that didn't always mean that upstaging. It didn't always mean that we had the time like you think you do. It's not like you can take an entire week off of school and then expect to stay on schedule for being able to get out at the end of the year when you want to. Same thing with work. It's not like you can take a week off whenever you want to and still expect your projects to get done. But even with that, there's still the idea that the point of being a business for yourself is to be able to take time to go build a life that you want, to do the things that you want. Radar, can you please stay out of the mud? Thank you. Thank you. Back to that whole question of spontaneity is going back to what is the kind of life that I want to build? What is the perfect day that I have in mind that I am working to achieve and trying to get to in the process of making the resources to be able to live there? After watching both the documentary on Steve Jobs and the movie about Ray Kroc over the course of this week, one of the things that became apparent to me was just how much it's very easy for the pursuit of entrepreneurship and the pursuit of the fun of business building can very easily get taken over by the fun of power and the fun of money. And you start making some really lousy decisions when you start putting money and power above people, including yourself, honestly. And so, part of why I'm building a business is because I want the freedom to be able to take care of my parents, to be able to travel with my husband, to be able to take care of kids and not have to worry about the money question, especially living in a city where the cost of living is so high. I know a lot of people that have to work 2 jobs just to try and make ends meet here. And so I don't want to have that in my life as I'm building my family, as we are living. And so, that's part of the impetus to why I'm working the way that I'm working. But with that, you also have to take the steps to get where you want to go while you're along that journey. Like, it's one thing to be making the money, but it's a whole other thing to not build the life on top of it. And so having the opportunity to come out to City Park this morning and to just say, you know what, heck, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop on the way home and enjoy some fresh air and enjoy the park and enjoy the water. It's not a decision that I normally would have made in the sake of efficiency, but this falls more in line with the kind of life that I actually want to build as I'm building my business. Hey, Radar! You ready to go home? I'm ready to go home. Gotta go get some breakfast. I'm hungry. Let's get out of here. Oh, I am home. I got yesterday's video blog up there and rendering out so I can upload it, and I am now going to eat some breakfast. And I need to clean off my table again. It's the end of actually a very productive day. I got my next edit for real time out the door. There is still some confusion with some of the things that need to get cut, so basically it was a bunch of little pieces for them to review and then make comments on, and then I'll take it back tomorrow and then hopefully get everything finished for them. We'll see how it goes. They basically just need to rearrange a couple of pieces of footage that are in there, and that's their question, and so they just need to, go through the whole thing. Right now, I'm in the process of getting ready for my neighbors to show up. With Robo being out of town, I'm having a girls' night, and so a couple of my neighbors are going to come over, and I'm busy making omelets, or I will be making omelets, and right now I have some blueberry muffins in the oven, so I'm super excited about this. I like when we get together and do breakfast together. But this whole day, as I have been thinking and working, I've been contemplating more and more, what does my perfect day look like? If I'm going to be building a life where, the goal is to build that financial freedom to, wake up in the morning and be like, hey, what do you want to do today? Then I'm trying to figure out, what does that actually look like today? And one of the interesting things that happened, I took today slow. I went to the park, came home, did my work. I wrote a blog post about business. I'm now, I got my house cleaned up a little bit. I was able to start work on supper and making food for people. And I'm realizing this is how I kind of want my day to go on from here on out. I really want this kind of day where I have the time to work, but I also have time to pour out into the things that are important for me. So I don't know how this is all going to play out yet as a general practice, because that last busy season I just had, there are sometimes where I have to work all the time, all during the day, sometimes at night, and those things are exhausting, but that's what you got to do to make deadlines. And so I want to start trying to figure out this kind of a balance. What is the life that I want to build while I'm being an entrepreneur? I know it's there's an entrepreneur from Australia that I like to follow, and she wrote a book called Perception. Her company is called Basic Bananas. It's a marketing company. She also has a really fantastic YouTube, so I'm gonna link it right here in the description box below. But anyway, her big thing is, don't talk to me in the morning, don't schedule a meeting in the morning, I'm going surfing. And I'm just man, I want to build a business like that, where it can be don't bug me this morning, I'm going skating. Don't bug me in the mornings, I'm going to be home making blueberry muffins. Whatever that thing is, I want to be able to get to the point where I don't have to do it, where I have time to do the thing that I want to do, and I have time to do the work that I want to do. And so how this actually plays out, I don't know yet, but we'll see how that goes. So, for you, how would you describe your perfect day? If you are someone who's an entrepreneur who wants to build your own business, what is the thing that you are looking forward to building? What's your goal? What do you want to get into? What's your idea of a perfect day look like? And this is a really important question, because the more that you know what your perfect day looks like, the easier it is to visualize it and to use that as a part of your vision to slog through all of the mud of actually getting there. The more detail you have, the more crystal clear of what that looks like, the easier it is. And so, I've had my vision. I'm looking forward to crafting more of this perfect day. So if you have some really good ideas for a perfect day, leave those in the comments below. And if this is your first time joining me today, I hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out. For all of you guys who are returning and watching this video, I'm trying to get back in the habit of vlogging more regularly, so hopefully you'll see more of these videos. In the meantime, go ahead and click that little bell notification. That way you get an update as to when every single one of them is coming out, because I've not yet been able to get back to my regular habit. So I will see you all tomorrow, and I will talk to you later. Ciao. Oh my gosh, you guys, addendum to today. So, if your gut's ever telling you to do something, you should probably go do it. After my neighbor left tonight, we were talking about going for walks and about how a bunch of us like going for walks and about how we should go walk more. And so after dinner and after making blueberry muffins, I was like, I really could use a walk. And so I really didn't want to go the way that I normally go around the neighborhood, so I decided to go a different direction. And on the way home, I crossed a business front that I've never seen before. Just one of those things that was like, oh my gosh, how long has that been there? I should really go check it out. And it is a 3D printing company here in Denver, and it's not too far away from my house. And so I was checking it out. It was one of those like, I need to go back and like actually snap a picture of this, because Robo's invented in, interested in 3D printing. Like, who really isn't interested in 3D printing? And so this guy comes out of the place and just was like, hey, do you want the whole spiel? Like, do you know what's going on here? And I was like, well, tell me whatever you think is important. And so we got to chit-chatting. He told me all about his business, told me about what he's doing, how it's really cool. And, we started talking about how, if you have a thing and I don't have the machine for it, if that's what you want to do, I'll buy it and then I'll learn how to use it and then we can make your thingy. And I was like, oh yeah, very much like how I do things as a video editor. If my client wants a new piece of software for a project, then I say, yeah, sure, I'll buy it. And he looked at me and said, do you do video production? I was like, yes, I do. And he says, have you ever done Kickstarter videos before? And I was like, well, I haven't done a Kickstarter video, but I do promo videos all the time. And so I'm going to go have a conversation with him tomorrow. Randomly. Like, this is how stuff sometimes happens. You can have a perfect day and you can just have perfect timing and a perfect opportunity. And it's why if you're a business owner, you shouldn't be afraid to talk about what you do. You should love what you do, because it's easier to talk about it and it's easier to share about it. And yeah, we'll see what happens.